people, it's your girl Adeola. So Nigerian governors are not paying salaries. They are not paying salaries. So 27 states out of 36 states are owing several months. People are suffering big time. A lot of people have not been paid since November of last year. That is 7 months of working without getting paid. In Nasarawa state, teachers have not been paid full salary since January of last year. They keep paying them 20%. That's a percent. Why?
Teachers were on the streets of Lafia, the state capital, carrying placards with different write-ups, all to communicate their grievances.
Teachers are dying!
Teachers in the state have been paid a percentage of their salaries since January 2015.
And this is happening in so many states. In Imo State, pensioners have not been paid for years. Some of them since 2011, that is 5 years. Some for the last 2 years. Some for the last 1 year. 3 of them slumped during a protest recently.
My people, my people. I hate poverty. I know what it is to stay a whole day without food.
Are you out of your mind? You don't know when to be serious. Imagine that this man wanted to be president. Can you imagine? Show the pensioners that were protesting, Jade.
Here on demonstration against the Imo State government for not paying us our various entitlements.
You see, these are old men and women. And when workers in Imo State protested on paid salaries, you know what their governor said? He said that he can work with 200 people. Just imagine that kind of insult. You didn't pay these people and now you are saying you can do without them. The man was given 26 billion naira as bailout last year. He still did not pay their salary.
Of course, we know that Imo State got 26 billion naira bailout funds last year.
Hey, is it, wait, I don't know, I don't get it. Is it true that he squandered 20 out of the 26 billion naira? Hey, Oluwagbami.
My people, my people.
Your father, God go punish you. In Oyo State, workers protested, nothing happened. They went on strike, nothing happened. Now the labor leaders declared 7 days of fasting and prayer. I said why? But why? These workers have been fasting for months. How do you call it? When you don't get paid for the works, they've been fasting, huh? And now you said they should go and pray and fast. As if you don't know who is responsible for the unpaid salaries. Why can't you stone them? As of April of this year, these governors received about 999 billion naira bailout money from Buhari. 999 billion naira bailout. At least 5 states did not owe anything. So it's not as if the rest of them cannot pay if they wanted to. In fact, Edo State recently increased their own minimum wage to 25,000 naira. Everybody else is still 18,000. But in Edo State, it's now 25,000 naira. But several governors are saying that, oh, the money that they gave them is not enough to pay salary. And people are like, but pay people what you have. Even if it's not enough, pay that. They refuse to. Out of selfishness, several governors are putting this money in their own bank accounts in order to generate interest in millions of naira.
But I see aka o le ni wọ́n be li yin out pẹ̀lú billion pé kẹ́ lọ fi sanwó òṣìṣẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ owó náà ẹgbẹ́ lọ sí bank ẹ lọ ń gba interest lórí ẹ̀ sanwó òṣìṣẹ́ ẹni bí ni yin but I see aka.
These governors are making money off of people's misery.
Òpònú yin ni yin but I see aka. Àti ku yin o mo le da. Yabagebe pon yin o dagbada bo le o ko nle baba ofo.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. How do you translate that to English? Sorry, my people. I can't really translate that because the woman was practically abusing the governor in PG-13 language.
Babofo.
Ah, yeah. Workers went on strike in the Ekiti State only for their governor to announce that he's also going on strike. I was like, what the? Like, really? Only in Nigeria. And speaking of Fayose, by now you've all heard that EFCC froze Fayose's account.
I am a sitting governor. And under Section 308 of the Nigerian Constitution, I enjoy immunity. This rascality of the FCC must stop. The same immunity that I enjoy is what the president enjoys. It is apparently clear that because of my stance in my criticism of the activities of the federal government.
Uncle, sorry, just honestly, I don't think this has anything to do with the fact that you talk too much. Yes, or it may be, I don't know. I'm just thinking. Do you think this has anything to do with the 1.2 billion naira that you allegedly stole in 2004? Allegedly, don't quote. Or do you think it has to do with the 1.4 billion naira that allegedly came from Dasuki Gate into your bank account? I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to help you.
I want to state it very clearly. Like the funding of my election has no government connection. My election was funded by private sector.
Why do you keep playing these things? Hey, my brother, sorry. There you go again. You keep denying this whole Ekiti Gate thing, and everybody knew that was your voice on the tape.
He told me you are a safe hands, he will perform, and he told me that I have made it clear to him that you are do not come for this election.
My God, why do you keep denying? I'm trying to help you. You are not helping yourself. Uncle Fayose, as I was saying, in retaliation, Fayose accused the First Lady of being involved in money laundering. That's the bribery scandal involving the U.S. Congressman Williams Jefferson. $170,000 was wired from an account in Nigeria in the name of Aisha Buhari, of which Williams Jefferson was a beneficiary. Of course, all hell broke loose in Nigeria. Buhari's people were saying, oh, it's not the First Lady that was involved, it's another Aisha Buhari. Fayose's people were saying, oh, it is the First Lady, and the people that don't belong to either side, they were like, well, if the First Lady is innocent, why can't she come to America? Me, I saw the passport that was circulated. It certainly doesn't look like the First Lady to me. Yeah, this passport, honestly, it doesn't look like the First Lady to me. But you know what do I know? Some people said that the picture was photoshopped so that it wouldn't look like the First Lady. I said, but how come they misspelled her last name? You know, Muhammadu. They misspelled the last name. Also, the First Lady is not from Daura, as the passport said. She is from Adamawa State. Daura is in Katsina State. But I'm not saying that the First Lady is innocent or guilty. Me, I'm waiting on the ongoing investigations about this matter. In the meantime, I blame the Buhari people. Clearly, you knew about this case all along. This case has been, how many years? You knew about this case all along. Why didn't you release a statement on whether it's the First Lady or not? Before this whole thing happened, Ribadu came out and said, oh, it's not the First Lady, that he almost arrested the real Aisha when he was the chairman of EFCC. I'm like, so why didn't you arrest the real Aisha? All these people that are coming out now, why didn't you say something then? Haba. And then the First Lady's response to Fayose, calling Fayose a mad dog. I said, madam, why are you trying to do my job? Must you respond to everybody? No, I don't like it when people try to do my job. By the way, I heard that the First Lady has a function here in the US next month, July. So I guess if she comes to the US, that should clear some air. Meanwhile, no one is saying anything about the fact that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was implicated in the same case. His name was on the thing, Bagada. You know, they wrote the sitting Vice President Atiku Abubakar. How come we overlooked that? Hey, Nigerians, common sense is not always common. Just ask the common sense senator. You can ask, sorry, Mr. Ben Bruce, don't mind them, enemies of progress. People have been making fun of this man. All these people that are making fun of you just because you owe money. Anybody can owe money now. Some of them that are making fun of the senator probably owe money themselves. They said that the man took loan from Union Bank to build his empire and that he did not pay it. Wait a minute, how much did he? 11 billion naira. Hey! My Oga, my cha-cha, Senator Ben Bruce. Yeah, the smell. How do you overlook such an amount? 11 billion naira, my Oga. And you will be shouting on Twitter about what is wrong with everybody else. 11 billion since 2005. That is about $38 million. No be so? And you've made huge profit from this loan, Mr. Senator. You've made people pay to watch movies when they come to your theaters. No be so? They pay. You charge us money to enter. Why didn't you pay back the loan so that the bank could loan other people that may also have ideas like you did? Mr. Senator, what happened to encouraging made in Nigeria products if nobody else can borrow money to develop their company like you did? If there's no money to borrow other people, this thing is common sense. And these people, they don't tire me. And speaking of using common sense, do you guys know that the people that are suffering the most right now with the whole economic hardship in Nigeria are the internally displaced people? About 200 of them died of hunger already. They starved to death. These are some of the pictures that somebody sent to me. Thank you very much, the person that emailed me these pictures. These people are starving, and you will think that Nigerian police and soldiers will use common sense at a time like this. No. Guess what? Nigerian policemen and Nigerian soldiers are fighting over food meant for the internally displaced people. Abba, I said, is there anything else that you will not find in Nigeria? Police and soldiers over food that was meant for internally displaced people. Like I said, common sense is not always common, but you guys know I don't know anything. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Equatorial Guinea, Mr. President has announced that his son is now the vice president. I was like, oh, like what? Like, whoa, like what? This same guy has been the minister of forestry. That's not enough. You made your son the minister. You are not ashamed of it. Now you made him vice president. Africa. Why? So what about the family? Did they make her the Minister of Defense? This is clearly a family affair. But why Equatorial Guinea? Why? This is a country of almost 1 million people, and one family keeps treating you like this. His uncle was the president for 10 years. That one declared himself God. He killed so many people. And then his father, the present president, he's been there since 1979. 1979, that is 37 years. 37 years is not enough to be under one family. He also declared himself God, by the way. Yes, he said he was God. In fact, I heard that when he first took over power, as soon as he leaves the capital, they will turn off electricity. Nobody else will have electricity. They will say it's no longer necessary since Mr. President is not around. By the way, Equatorial Guinea is the 7th largest oil producer in Africa, and there are only about 800,000 people. The last census they did, there were 750 something thousand. I'm trying to say that you have more people in Abuja than the whole of Equatorial Guinea. So if any country should be the most developed in Africa, if anybody should be enjoying the oil money, it should be the people of Equatorial Guinea. But they don't. The president's family spends the money anyhow. This particular son that they are making the vice president now, he once spent $700,000 to rent a yacht in order to party with American rapper Eve. $700,000 to party. And then there was a time that he bought $35 million mansion in Malibu, California. The US government sued him for that. They collected it from him. He spent about $70 million on a Gulfstream jet and yachts and then expensive cars. Between 2011 and 2014, this same guy spent $350 million on properties and luxurious goods. And don't forget about his £100 million mansion in Paris that was seized by the French government. He also paid $482,000 for Michael Jackson's glove. You guys remember that glove? Yes. And then he spent about $1.8 million on Michael Jackson statues. So he's not even vice president when he did all this. Now he's vice president. What do you think he will do? Very soon now they will say he's the new president. This facade is evil, is bad. It's bad. Everybody knows what these people are trying to do. So we should expect the son to take over and not be so. And now, by the way, why does the guy got palm? He got palm in his hair. Why would a 46-year-old man have palm in his hair? No. Clearly this guy has issues. The guy is obsessed with his appearance. I think he's in love with himself or something. Anyway, you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. So moving on to the Horn of Africa. 2 weeks ago, Eritrea celebrated 25 years of independence from Ethiopia. As you guys know, the two countries fought a war that lasted 3 decades. More than 570,000 people died during that war. 570,000 human beings. They fought another one from 1998 to 2000. About 100,000 people died in that one. Still, you can tell that there is tension between the two countries. Even though they both signed an agreement on cessation of hostility in June of 2000, both countries have failed to uphold the agreement. It's as if both are preparing for war. I don't know. So when Eritrea celebrated 25 years of independence recently, Ethiopia claimed that Eritrean government provoked them with some statements that they made. So they launched an attack on Eritrea at the border. Soldiers of the two countries were fighting each other for 2 days. Now you would think that these two people would say, wait a minute, why do we keep killing ourselves? Instead, they are fighting over who killed the most people. Eritrea said they killed 200 Ethiopians. Ethiopia said, no, it's a lie, we killed more. I was like, what? And then an Ethiopian minister said, if Eritrea is not careful, they will attack again. I said, why? Sometimes I'm ashamed of myself as an African. I clearly don't know the depth of the conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea. I don't, but for God's sake, this is 2016. Is this how we will continue? Ethiopia and just be killing each other like that? Whatever your differences may be, war is never pretty. The people that were killed that weekend when Ethiopia attacked Eritrea, the people that were killed on both sides, do we know who they are? Do we know how their family members are doing right now? These big people in power are not the ones out there on the field risking their lives, but they are arguing over who killed the most people. Seriously, what is the use of all these international organizations, the UN, the AU, if they just stand by and let these people kill each other? They are not intervening in any way. Meanwhile, more people are fleeing from this region. Last month alone, more than 1,000 East Africans drowned in the Mediterranean Sea. More than 1,000. Imagine 1,000 people in a room. Just try to, I don't know the population of your mosque or your church, but that should help you to be able to imagine 1,000 people. And all of them drowned. They drowned. From Ethiopia, from Eritrea, from Sudan. These people were looking for asylum in Europe anywhere. In fact, asylum anywhere. 19 Ethiopians suffocated to death last week on their way to Southern Africa. I'm thinking that South Africa is where they are going. The truck was carrying 100 Ethiopians. By the time they got to the Democratic Republic of Congo, 19 of them had suffocated to death. And it's because home is no longer conducive. They were looking for a better life. I mean, there's no freedom of press in either Ethiopia or Eritrea, and you can't just protest what the government is doing. Last week, Human Rights Watch said that between November of last year and now, Ethiopian government has killed more than 400 of their own citizens in a crackdown on protesters in the Oromia region. You guys know that they are trying to extend Addis Ababa. They are driving the Oromia people out. So people are protesting and police are killing them. Not only that, they've arrested tens of thousands of protesters in Ethiopia. So many people have been jailed for years. Something is wrong. Serious, something is wrong. And you know, those of us that are not from the Horn of Africa, we can hardly differentiate between an Eritrean and an Ethiopian. Like seriously, enough is enough. You guys are brothers and sisters. You used to be one country. You guys have way too many things in common. Please, let peace reign. Let peace reign. But you guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Zimbabwe, listen to this email that I got. Dear Adeola, please talk about Zimbabwe's million-man march held in Harare on May 25th. Portrayed by foreign media as a million Zimbabweans marching to show continued support for President Mugabe and ZANU-PF. This image is false. People were forced to go to the march. ZANU-PF soldiers went to high-density areas of Harare and they forced people to get in buses, transported them to the CBD of Harare where they were forced to march and give good feedback to the media. Wow. People in the international community think that Zimbabweans are stupid, but we are not. We are not stupid. If we refuse to do something or actively speak out, we will be dealt with. People disappear and they are tortured if they speak out. Please speak about this, but do not mention my name. Zimbabweans do not support President Mugabe. We're suffering, our economy is getting worse, and people are unemployed. Sincerely, a tired Zimbabwean. Che! No wonder I've been seeing news that the march was staged. You know, I saw one news that said that business people were forced to fund the march. I was like, what? Like, yeah, I was like, what? And then I saw another one where young people in Zimbabwe were saying that they were forced to march for Mugabe. I said, but why? But why? If somebody doesn't like you, what pleasure do you get by forcing them to pretend that they like you? Khalid doesn't like me sometimes, but he doesn't pretend, and I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't like me. Why are you forcing yourself on the people? And wait a minute. Why is the photo of the first lady on the ZANU-PF vehicle? Let's miss. No, be Grace Mugabe be that on the ZANU. No, Grace Mugabe. I thought this was supposed to be a march for Mr. President. So you would think the president's picture would be the one on the vehicle? Like really? Is she the president now? Honestly, I'm confused, but you know, never mind. All I'm saying is this family needs to stop riding the people of Zimbabwe anyhow. You are 92. What can be so hard in stepping down? I don't get it. Thank you for writing. By the way, whoever sent me this email, don't worry, we already know that the whole thing was staged. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.
Growing up in Kenya, my sister and I were very close. But like any sisters, we fought a lot. She always got new clothes, and I always got hand-me-downs. Now she's putting her children through school in Kenya. We still fight sometimes, especially when I send money for the kids. I tell her, buy some clothes for the younger one, and we both laugh.
With nearly 500,000 locations, our app and online, this is moving money for better.
Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, and we'll see y'all later. Peace out!
Welcome to Forstview Luxury Hotel. At Forstview Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forstview Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeola Mishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 0809990 0601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.4zhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. 4Z Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.